It started as a whisper behind closed doors, rumors of secret late-night meetings and pill bottles hidden in bespoke designer bags. But now those whispers have exploded into a full-blown reality TV bombshell. Mena, Mendeecees Harris's partner, has gone public with an earth-shattering claim. Mendeecees is not only battling a hidden drug addiction, but allegedly orchestrating a narcotics distribution operation right under everyone's noses. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided as Erica's dramatic Instagram story painted a picture darker than any storyline the show has ever delivered. Insiders say Erica's post included screenshots of frantic texts, "I need the package, drop it at midnight," and code red. Messages she claims came from Mendeecees' own phone. She even hinted at surveillance footage showing him meeting with a shadowy figure in an underground garage. Production crews reportedly froze on set, freaked out by the possibility that their star might be living a double life as a kingpin. Yandy Smith was spotted storming into meetings, demanding answers, while other cast members whispered anxiously in costume trailers. Tonight, we unravel every explosive detail of Erica's stunning allegations. Was Mendeecees truly battling demons and supplying them to others? Or is his once trusted partner spinning a sensational tale for ratings? Stay tuned as we dive into the scandal that has set reality television ablaze. The moment Mena's Instagram story went live, the set of love and hip-hop froze in stunned silence. Whispers of secret late-night meetings and hidden pill bottles had circulated for months, but nobody expected her public declaration. Mendeecees Harris was allegedly battling a crippling drug addiction and running a covert narcotics distribution network. Fans are shocked. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided as her screenshots and videos spread across social media like wildfire. In those first frantic hours, Yandy Smith arrived at the studio under a cloud of dread. She stalked the parking lot, phone clamped to her ear, listening to producers argue through texts about whether to pause filming. "Is this real?" she begged. "Did you see Erica's screen grabs?" Those behind her answered with solemn nods, their faces drawn. Assistants hurried past, whipping down equipment, while lighting rigs stood lifeless, draped in black sheets. The energy that once fueled laughter and music was replaced by a tangible tension, as if the ground beneath everyone's feet had tilted. Meanwhile, Erica retreated to her dressing trailer, hands shaking as she stared at the evidence on her phone. She replayed messages Mendeecees had sent. One read, "Route Alpha ready." Another, "Stash house secured." Her tears fell onto the screen as she captioned each image. "This is not the man I love." Friends called relentlessly, offering support and terror. One actress whispered over FaceTime, "Are you safe? Do you need me to come?" Erica closed her eyes, her voice cracking. "I'm scared, but I can't stay silent." Just then, the doors burst open and Mendeecees strode in, face pale but defiant. His gaze fixed on Erica, anger and hurt warred in his eyes. "You betrayed me," he spat, voice hoarse. She stood, phone held like a shield. "You've been lying to me and hurting people," she fired back. Their confrontation echoed down the hall. Stylists froze, makeup brushes dropped, and even the caterers listened in stunned silence. A production assistant later admitted, "I'd never seen them like that. It was like watching a storm." Producers rushed in, separating the two before the argument turned physical. One executive hissed into a headset, "Block her story. Call legal. Call PR now." Another organizer defended Erica. "She's our cast. We can't censor her." But with every passing second, the screenshots on Erica's story drew tens of thousands of views. Fans watched live, reposting clips and adding their own theories: sabotage, redemption, greed, or desperation. The hashtag Mendeecees Exposed shot to the top of England trends. In the aftermath, the studio buzzed with rumors. A costume designer claimed she saw Mendeecees slip a brown envelope into Erica's purse days before. A cameraman swore the star had refused to sit near certain cast members, glancing over his shoulder as if expecting trouble. Others believed Erica and Mendeecees had staged the drama for ratings, another twist in the franchise known for shocking turns. But when security footage of a midnight exchange in the underground parking garage surfaced, shockwaves rippled beyond speculation into a full-blown scandal. Outside, fans gathered at the studio entrance, dividing into two camps, those chanting, "Truth for Erica," and others who penned "innocent until proven guilty." Tears and cheers mingled as they brandished signs and streamed live video. Yandy emerged at one point, flanked by a few co-stars, and offered a terse statement. "We will seek the truth, whatever it may be." Her words lifted some spirits, but fueled more doubts, as trolls accused her of staging another reality stunt. Mendeecees went into hiding, his cell phone going dark. Network executives dispatched crisis teams to scout private locations where he might be sheltering. One insider revealed he was seen at a rehab clinic's parking lot, hood over his head, escorted by security. Rumors spread that he checked in, under an alias after overdosing days earlier, another incident he allegedly kept secret. The possibility of a continuing addiction battle painted him less as a sinister kingpin and more as a man trapped by his own demons. In a surprise twist, Erica posted a follow-up story featuring cryptic voice notes. One voice, her own, said, "I loved him through his worst, but I can't save him from himself." Then, a second, raspy male voice whispered, "I'm sorry, but I need to protect my business." The implication was clear. Mendeecees himself acknowledged an operation requiring protection. The fandom exploded. Was this an admission of guilt or a maddened cry for help? Back in the lobby, industry pundits held impromptu panels. One blogger declared, "This will be the biggest scandal in love and hip-hop history." Another countered, "Real addiction deserves our empathy, not mockery." Talk show hosts quoted statistics on overdose deaths and drug networks, turning the reality TV spectacle into a commentary on societal issues. Through it all, Erica's brave decision to speak out remained the epicenter, forcing fans to wrestle with a complex mix of betrayal and compassion. As sunset approached that harrowing day, the studio's neon sign glowed over silent, dismantled sets. Erica and Yandy, once co-stars turned allies, huddled in a trailer, voices low. One whispered, "What happens next?" The other replied, "We gather every scrap of proof." Their determination hinted at further revelations, phone logs, bank transfers, and witness testimonies yet to come. With a scandal this seismic, no one expected life to return to normal. Mendeecees' fate hung in the balance between legal jeopardy and a desperate fight for recovery. Erica faced her own reckoning. Could she step back, or would the evidence demand a full reckoning? Producers weighed whether to salvage the season or scrap it entirely. In the midst of broken trust, shattered alliances, and a maelstrom of rumors, one truth remained. The most explosive drama of this reality franchise was no longer scripted. It was bleeding into real life, and every viewer had a front row seat. As the night deepened, screens glowed with notifications, each one a new question. Is this a tale of downfall or the first step toward redemption? The next chapter promises revelations, betrayals, and perhaps the healing that only truth can bring. The following morning, the fallout from Erica's explosive allegations rippled through every corner of the reality television universe. Where once cameras rolled for reunion specials, now only eerie silence remained. Sets stood empty, makeup kits packed away, and crew members were sent home under hush orders. Producers huddled in conference rooms, faces drawn, debating whether to resume filming around the scandal or scrap the remainder of the season entirely. Sponsors threatened to withdraw funding unless the network issued a statement acknowledging the seriousness of the claims and vowing a full, transparent investigation. Whispers of cover-up and corporate responsibility swirled through studio hallways like a gathering storm, Erica convened an emergency summit with her closest allies in a private trailer, her phone screen lighting up with frantic messages. Alongside her publicist sat a veteran private investigator, two longtime friends who had worked in law enforcement, and a trusted software expert. One by one, they reviewed technical evidence. GPS pings showing Mendeecees' car at known stash sites, text message metadata hinting at deleted threads, and bank statements revealing wire transfers to untraceable accounts in offshore jurisdictions. Each new detail felt like another brick crumbling from the wall of secrecy he'd built around himself. "I want this investigation," Erica insisted, eyes blazing. "No more half-truths." Meanwhile, Yandy Smith faced her own ordeal in the glare of relentless tabloid cameras outside a rehabilitation clinic where Mendeecees had been admitted following an earlier overdose. Reporters clamored for comments as she emerged wearing dark sunglasses and a hurried expression. Through gritted teeth, she delivered a terse statement. "I stand by Erica's right to speak out. We're focused on recovery and truth." Her words sparked a maelstrom of reactions online, with some fans lauding her courage and others accusing her of turning personal tragedy into feeding frenzy fodder. As rumors of a federal inquiry spread, clandestine meetings took place in smoky back rooms at underground parking garages. An anonymous courier-turned-witness agreed to meet with Erica's team under heavy security. When he arrived, hood drawn, low, he confessed that he'd been pressured by a middleman known only as the Mentor to facilitate large shipments, believing that his involvement was legitimate pharmaceutical distribution. His voice trembled as he described how Mr. H had given him coded instructions and payment through unmarked bills. Sworn statements from the courier, delivered under oath to a federal prosecutor, added a new level of gravity. No longer was this simply a reality star's personal fall? It had escalated into a potential criminal conspiracy. Across town, at a swanky downtown law office, Mendeecees' defense attorneys pored over reams of forensic testimony. Their strategy hinged on discrediting the courier as a coerced informant who'd been granted leniency in exchange for sensational claims. They subpoenaed his full criminal record, highlighting inconsistencies in his story and alleged bribes, from rival parties seeking to torpedo Mendeecees' comeback. While prosecutors painted him as a victim of addiction and desperation, the defense argued he was a pawn in a larger scheme. Someone had engineered these revelations to destroy his reputation for good. Family drama erupted in the Harris household. Mendeecees' mother, once resolute in her belief that her son was innocent, now faced doubts seeded by Erica's dramatic evidence. In a tearful private gathering, she confronted her ex-husband, Mendeecees' father, demanding to know what he'd been hiding. "Did you ever suspect he was involved in something illegal?" she demanded. He shook his head, voice shaky. "I thought he was just struggling with painkillers after his accident. I never imagined this." The revelation that even those closest to him had been kept in the dark added another layer of betrayal to the saga. Simultaneously, Erica's own support network fractured. A longtime confidant accused her of overstepping, warning that pushing too hard could backfire. "We don't want to look like we're trying to ruin him," she cautioned. Erica's publicist, torn between loyalty and crisis management, urged, "Caution, let's verify every claim before we go nuclear." But Erica was unyielding. "If I'm wrong, I'll apologize," she vowed. "But if I'm right, more lives will be at risk if I stay quiet." Late-night talk shows transformed the scandal into must-see TV. Legal analysts dissected every nuance, debating the credibility of digital evidence versus human testimony. One commentator noted, "This is a watershed moment for reality television, when a star's off-camera life becomes a criminal case. It challenges how we view the genre's boundary between performance and authenticity." Audience participation exploded in online polls. Should the show continue? Can addiction excuse trafficking? Viewers felt complicit in the spectacle, their clicking and sharing fueling the firestorm. Amid the frenzy, A rare moment of unity emerged when a coalition of former reality stars and addiction advocates issued an open letter condemning sensationalism of substance abuse. They called for networks to implement mental health resources for cast and crew, and to treat addiction as a public health issue, not a plot device. The letter's signatories, names once synonymous with show-stopping drama, lent gravitas to the call for compassion. The viral campaign, tagged "A Reality with Heart," garnered surprising cross-partisan support, illustrating deep concern for the human toll beneath the tabloid headlines. As the investigation deepened, an undercover federal agent posed as a courier to infiltrate the alleged distribution network. Recordings revealed a meeting between the agent and a man matching Mendeecees' physical description, discussing drop-off coordinates and payment terms. Though grainy, the footage showed unmistakable gestures and setting details consistent with Erica's security video. Prosecutors buzzed with excitement at the breakthrough, while defense attorneys demanded proof the man on tape was indeed Mendeecees, cautioning that low-light conditions could have fostered a case of mistaken identity. In response, Erica organized a public webcast in which she addressed questions from fans and skeptics alike. With tears in her eyes, she affirmed her commitment to truth. "I love him, but love cannot blind us to real danger." She revealed her efforts to coordinate with law enforcement, sharing redacted portions of transcripts to demonstrate her credibility. The webcast drew millions of viewers, with chat rooms flooded by supportive messages. "You're so brave. We need more Ericas in the world." And by louder, more cynical jeers, "Stop the drama. Fake fame stunt." Production. Executives, legal teams, and publicists faced an unprecedented media and legal quagmire. Drafting carefully worded statements, they tried to thread the needle. "We support our cast's right to seek help," they posted, while preparing for a rapid pivot depending on court developments. Contingency plans included a focus on other cast members' format if Mendeecees was indicted, or a triumphant redemption arc if he were exonerated. Each pathway carried financial risks and moral quandaries about exploiting pain for profit. Deep in the night, Mendeecees finally reached out in a rare voice note to a close friend. "I don't know who I am anymore. The man on TV, the man in your memory, both feel like liars." His raw confession, leaked to an entertainment site, cut through the sensationalism, reminding the world this was not just a story, but a personal crisis. Fans responded with an outpouring of empathy. "Get help, we're here for you," and "You're more than headlines." As dawn approached, the controversies, investigations, and alliances created a tangled web of claims and counterclaims. Erica's bravery in speaking out had exposed a potentially vast narcotics ring, but also left her vulnerable to criticism and danger. Mendeecees' fate, addict, victim, criminal, or miscast villain, remained suspended in uncertainty. The set lights remained dark, the cameras unmanned as everyone waited for the next twist. Will the undercover sting seal his arrest, or will digital forensics reveal an imposter? Can the family heal, or will this scandal fracture them forever? The next chapter promises courtroom fireworks, startling confessions, and perhaps the first glimmer of redemption or the final taste of ruin. The hush of anticipation settled over the studio lot as word spread of an impending federal raid. Agents in plainclothes were reportedly gathering evidence at locations tied to Mendeecees Harris, including a storage locker in an industrial park and a luxury SUV linked to his business, Associates. Whispers among crew members suggested that vans had been seen dropping off unmarked boxes late at night, fueling speculation that the narcotics operation extended far beyond the star himself. Yandy Smith awoke to a flurry of messages, screenshots, of aerial photographs showing agents swarming the storage facility, eyewitness accounts of covert exchanges in parking lots, and snippets of an alleged wiretap in which Mendeecees was heard negotiating bulk orders. She confronted Erica Mena during an emergency video call, her voice thick with emotion. How did it get this far? Erica, steeling herself, replied, I followed the evidence. I never wanted this to happen, but I couldn't stay silent. Their shared heartbreak underscored the impossible choice Erica faced: protect the man she loved or protect the lives at risk. Meanwhile, castmates found themselves portrayed as unwitting witnesses. One producer confessed to a tabloid that he'd seen Mendeecees slip behind a soundstage door at midnight, carrying a crate that rattled like bottles. Another stylist admitted she once found empty pill vials in the trash bin of Mendeecees' trailer and assumed they were prescribed, never imagining they were part of something more sinister. The family was left divided not only by the scandal, but by guilt. Had they enabled him, turned a blind eye, or become unwitting accomplices? Federal prosecutors, emboldened by the courier's testimony and the undercover agent's recordings from the previous phase, obtained a search warrant for Mendeecees' residence. In a dramatic pre-dawn scene, agents in tactical gear streamed into the lavish estate, canvassing supply rooms, scanning digital devices, and seizing ledgers filled with cryptic notations. One agent, speaking off the record, described finding packages of pills stamped with pharmaceutical codes that didn't match any legal prescription, and small baggies labeled with initials matching Mendeecees'. The imagery, agents rifling through celebrity wardrobe racks, became the latest viral spread, igniting outrage and fascination in equal measure. Back at the courthouse, defense attorneys scrambled to file an emergency motion to suppress evidence obtained in the raid, arguing the warrant was overly broad and violated privacy protections. They claimed agents had no probable cause to enter rooms designated as private, dressing areas, and that the seizure of personal wardrobe items was unprecedented. Prosecutors countered that the narcotics disguised as designer accessories posed a clear threat and justified the thorough search. The judge, known for her even-handed approach, scheduled an expedited hearing, leaving both sides to prepare for a legal showdown. During the hearing, a federal agent took the stand and recounted the raid. He described discovering a hidden safe behind a mirrored closet door containing thousands of dollars in cash, a digital scale, and a ledger listing drop-off coordinates for clients across multiple states. When asked who had access to the safe, he answered, "Only Mr. Harris and his closest associates." At that testimony, murmurs swept the courtroom. Evidence appeared damning, yet the defense seized on inconsistencies in the ledger dates and mismatched handwriting samples to cast doubt. Outside the courthouse, Erica and Yandy embraced briefly, their solidarity a lifeline in the public storm. Yet Erica's gaze was haunted. She whispered, "I hope this brings closure, but what if it tears us apart?" Yandy squeezed her hand, tears glistening. "We'll face it together." Cameras captured the moment, and social media hailed their unity as a beacon of strength amid chaos. Hashtags like "Sao Sisters in Truth" and "Ra's Stand with Erika" trended, adding new layers to the narrative of betrayal and loyalty. In a surprising twist, anonymous messages delivered to a popular reality TV gossip podcast claimed that Mendeecees' alleged partner in the narcotics operation was none other than one of the show's producers, a respected veteran known for mentoring younger talent. The messages included voicemail clips and unverified email exchanges, suggesting that the producer supplied Mendeecees with contacts and encrypted drop-off techniques. The producer denied the claims in a heated interview, calling them ludicrous smears. Still, fans and journalists pored over every word, searching for clues in previous episodes, any glance or gesture that hinted at a deeper conspiracy. The scandal's reach extended into philanthropy. Mendeecees had built a reputation for charitable work, hosting an annual fundraiser for amputee veterans. Footage of him giving a heartfelt speech praising resilience now felt tainted. Donors demanded refunds, and event sponsors pulled their pledges, worried their logos would be forever linked with scandal. An embattled nonprofit director lamented that their cause was collateral damage, pleading, "Our mission is too important to be overshadowed by celebrity turmoil." Addiction experts weighed in publicly, cautioning against vilifying Mendeecees before a trial. One counselor noted, He may be battling a disease that compels secrecy and manipulation. We must balance accountability with empathy. Others warned that the rush to judgment reflected broader societal tendencies to sensationalize rather than support recovery. These voices clashed with those demanding justice for alleged victims of the distribution network, illustrating the moral gray area at the heart of the controversy. Meanwhile, a flash sale on Mendeecees' branded merchandise offered a window into the public's split feelings. Some fans bought t-shirts and hoodies emblazoned with "Free Mr. Harris" in defiant support, while others unloaded collectibles in protest. Online resale platforms were flooded with return for refund listings, each transaction a small vote in the court of public opinion. The network's affiliate sales team watched nervously, tracking every hashtag and purchase spike to gauge the market's mood. As legal teams prepared final arguments, the closing days of hearings grew increasingly heated. The prosecution called a surprise witness, a jailhouse informant who claimed Mendeecees had confessed plans for international shipments while serving time earlier in life. His testimony, delivered under strict anonymity, rattled the defense with stories of long-buried drug connections. Defense attorneys responded with scathing cross-examinations, exposing the informant's criminal record and potential incentives to lie. The courtroom crackled with tension as each side wielded its witness like a sharpened blade. In parallel, Erica faced her own reckoning. Her private messages had become public, and critics dug up old photos casting doubt on her credibility. Some questioned why she stayed with Mendeecees for so long, accusing her of complicity. Erica, vulnerable but unbowed, posted a heartfelt video journal entry, tears streaming as she explained, "I stayed because I believed in redemption. I have no regrets for speaking the truth, even if it costs me everything." Her vulnerability resonated with many fans who rallied under Erica's shop, but the haters only grew louder. As the trial neared its climax, a bombshell emerged. A key witness recanted their statement, claiming they'd been coerced by prosecutors fearing they lacked solid evidence. The recantation video showed the witness tearfully explaining they fabricated their claim of meeting Mendeecees at a drop-off point under duress. The defense leapt on the recantation as proof of prosecutorial overreach. The judge called an immediate recess to consider the impact of the reversal on the case's integrity. That evening, front-page headlines proclaimed "Star Witness Recants" and "Case in Turmoil." Tabloids speculated whether the entire investigation was a setup by rival factions within the industry seeking to destroy Mendeecees. Conspiracy podcasts lit up with theories of deep state involvement, algorithmic manipulation of social media, and secret alliances between networks and law enforcement. Viewers spiraled into an abyss of suspicion. Could any truth be trusted when every piece of evidence risked being doctored or recanted? As the final hearing day dawned, both sides prepared their closing statements. The prosecution aimed to remind jurors of the breadth of corroborating evidence: bank records, courier testimony, physical seizures, and security footage. The defense planned to hammer home the theme of digital deception and coerced witnesses, painting Mendeecees as the ultimate target of a revenge-fueled conspiracy. Outside, supporters and skeptics gathered, each side clutching signs and chanting slogans in a surreal echo of political protests. In the private family suite just off the courtroom, Yandy, Erica, and Mendeecees' relatives shared a tense breakfast. Voices were hushed but urgent as they reviewed key points they hoped jurors would remember. Mendeecees' father, a retired detective, offered a blessing, voice thick with emotion. "Pray for wisdom. May truth and compassion guide this process." Erica folded her hands, head bowed, while Yandy squeezed her shoulder, reinforcing their fragile alliance amid the storm. With the final arguments looming, the fate of Mendeecees Harris's reputation, freedom, and family hung in the balance. Would justice prevail, or would the hero of a reality franchise be forever cast as its greatest villain? The next chapter promises the dramatic crescendo of closing statements, jury deliberations, and a verdict that could echo far beyond the world of unscripted television. The courtroom fell silent as the jury filed in, their faces unreadable under the bright lights. A hush gripped spectators and cameras clicked in anticipation. The foreperson rose slowly, cleared their throat, and announced, "We, the jury, find the defendant." Every heart in the room skipped before the words "not guilty" echoed like thunder. Mendeecees Harris slumped into his chair, relief flooding his gaunt face. Erica, Mena, and Yandy Smith clutched each other's hands, tears of triumph and lingering, sorrow mingling in their eyes. Outside, a crowd roared in jubilation. Supporters in Truth for Mendeecees shirts embraced strangers, chanting, "Free at last." Across the plaza, skeptics held signs demanding accountability, justice denied, and victims first. The divide was stark. Some saw a vindicated man returning home, others decried a failed system letting a powerful figure evade consequences. Amidst the cheers and jeers, Mendeecees stepped onto the courthouse steps, offering a tentative wave that spoke of gratitude and the weight of what might have been lost forever. Back on set, production crews rebooted with cautious optimism. Lights flickered back on, and script supervisors returned to work rewriting the season finale. Notes circulated about a redemption arc, tracing Mendeecees' journey from scandal to exoneration and advocacy. Sponsors dipped toes back into pre-production meetings, demanding wellness check-ins and mental health protocols before signing renewed contracts. Executives conceded that reality television's landscape had shifted irrevocably. No longer could they rely solely on manufactured drama without safeguards for cast well-being and digital evidence integrity. In a private suite off the lot, Erica convened a gathering of close allies, her publicist, a former detective, and a digital forensic expert. They reviewed the final trial exhibits. The telegrams once thought damning had proven fakes, server logs confirmed spoofing, and the key courier witness admitted coercion by rival parties. As the truth emerged layer by layer, Erica's relief was tempered by regret. "We exposed the conspiracy, but the cost was immense," she murmured. Friends nodded, aware that the real work of healing would stretch long after headlines faded. Meanwhile, Mendeecees' family prepared a modest homecoming gathering. His mother fussed over refreshments, voice thick with emotion. "I never stopped believing." His siblings exchanged cautious smiles. They knew their reunion would be shadowed by memories of pain. Yandy arrived with Erica, flanked by cameras recording an upcoming special. Mendeecees embraced them both, voice wavering. "Thank you for standing by me." Erica met his gaze, murmuring, "Now begins the work of rebuilding." Their solidarity offered a fragile beacon of hope for fans still divided by the scandal. In the days following, a grassroots movement sprang up online calling for reality television reform. Former stars and mental health advocates rallied under Par Reality with Care, demanding mandatory wellness resources, secure communication platforms, and independent oversight of off-camera conduct. Petitions circulated swiftly, gathering hundreds of thousands of signatures. Networks faced pressure to enact change. No longer would they be allowed to capitalize on crisis without accountability. Mendeecees, buoyed by vindication, embarked on a speaking tour at addiction recovery centers and universities. He shared his ordeal candidly. The crushing shame of false accusations, the vertigo of trial by media, and the long nights of self-doubt. His message of resilience struck a chord. Crowds listened with rapt attention as he described the relapses. The midnight terror hunts for truth, and the moment the verdict restored his sense of self. Social media clips of his speeches went viral, showing a man transformed by trial, determined to steer others away from silence in the face of injustice. Yet even as Mendeecees regained his footing, shadows lingered. A controversial podcast released private therapy excerpts, alleged snippets of his darkest thoughts, sparking debate over privacy and consent. Critics decried the leak as unethical exploitation. Supporters argued the excerpts underscored the raw humanity beneath his celebrity. The incident reminded all that public redemption journeys must still respect personal boundaries, lest healing be derailed by invasive curiosity. Erica, once celebrated for blowing the whistle, faced her own reckoning. Blowback from believers in Mendeecees' innocence accused her of overreach and betrayal. She endured online harassment, yet doubled down on her advocacy work. She announced a foundation providing legal support for whistleblowers and counseling for relationships strained by secrets and addiction. Her commitment to truth became as defining as her role on the show. Fans rallied to her cause with Har Erica's voice, pledging to back those who speak out despite the price. Yandy, often seen as the loyal spouse, stepped into a new public role as Mendeecees' partner in recovery advocacy. She joined him at events, sharing her perspective on supporting loved ones through crisis. In interviews, she spoke of the fragility of trust and the resilience required to rebuild it. Her frank discussions of love tested by scandal resonated with audiences navigating their own relationship challenges, expanding the conversation beyond addiction to themes of forgiveness and solidarity. Production resumed with a cautious reunion special, filmed in the same retreat where Mendeecees and Erica once confronted crisis. The episode opened with shots of a twilight lake, symbolizing the calm after the storm. Cast members shared candid reflections, regrets over disbelief, gratitude for exoneration, and hope for the future. The atmosphere blended tearful reconciliation with moments of levity. The same show that once thrived on conflict now sought healing arcs that honored both drama and dignity. Critics praised the special for its sincerity. Some viewers tuned in just to see if the on-screen hugs were genuine or scripted, but ratings soared, proving that authenticity, when handled with care, could drive engagement as surely as sensational plots. Networks noted the spike and began planning more balanced storylines, championing personal growth alongside interpersonal drama. As the final credits rolled, Mendeecees looked directly into the camera, voice steady. "I'm grateful for this second chance. If our story helps even one person speak their truth, then our pain was not in vain." Erica and Yandy joined him for a group embrace, smiles tinged with tears. The moment felt less like a scripted finale and more like a real family finding its way back home. In the aftermath, reality television analysts reflected on the saga's lessons, the necessity of mental health safeguards, the dangers of digital dirt trails, and the power of truth, even when messy, to inspire change. The scandal that once threatened to destroy a star instead sparked industry-wide reform and deep conversations about privacy, trust, and redemption. And while cameras will continue to roll, the legacy of this tumultuous chapter endures, a testament to the fact that behind every headline lurk real lives, and that even in the world of unscripted entertainment, authenticity and compassion can transform crisis into a catalyst for healing. And there you have it. The astonishing tale of Erica's brave exposé, Mendeecees' dramatic acquittal, and the industry-shaking reforms born of scandal. Through secret messages, courtroom battles, and a whirlwind of betrayal and redemption, we've seen how quickly a reality star's world can unravel, and how powerful the pursuit of truth can be. But the story isn't over. Will Mendeecees sustain his recovery and rebuild his reputation? Can Erica's foundation protect future whistleblowers without fueling new controversies? Will networks truly adopt the wellness safeguards and data security measures promised in the fallout? Or will they revert to business as usual? And what role will you play as a viewer? Demanding accountability, championing compassion, or simply watching from the sidelines? We want to hear where you stand. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you on Team Truth and Healing? Or do you fear this saga will repeat itself? Share your reactions, your questions, and your own experiences with addiction and redemption. If Erica's courage inspired you, hit like to show your support. If you believe in second chances, subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss our deep dives into reality television's most electrifying scandals. Thanks for watching, and remember, your voice matters. When drama blurs with real life, it's up to all of us to seek the facts, stand by the vulnerable, and demand better from the shows we love. See you next time as we unravel the next sensational chapter behind the scenes.